Have you ever wondered what happened to all your cash? Do you often wonder why you don't have any money in your bank account at the end of each month? Do you often think about the invisible holes through which your money seems to disappear? If you said yes, you've come to the right place. We can tell you exactly why you aren't able to save money even though you make a good living. Here are the top 5 habits that can sneakily eat up your hard-earned cash. But before we start our countdown, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon as well. 1. Bad spending habits. A poor person spends money in bad ways. Thomas C. Corley did a study that showed that the rich kept track of their spending when they were first getting rich, but the poor did not. 93% of the poor said they didn't have a spending plan, and 63% said they didn't spend their money wisely. 77% had more than one credit card, and 69% of those people used their credit cards to buy expensive things. On the other hand, 92% of the wealthy only used one credit card. Thomas Corley's study shows that the poor have bad spending habits like buying things they don't need or didn't plan for, spending without a budget, not being able to keep track of their spending, and getting into too much credit card debt. The poor don't know what happens to all of their money. They just spend money without thinking, and sometimes they spend more than they make. Even if you don't spend carelessly, if you don't keep track of your spending, you'll get into the bad habit of spending too much. This is a habit of the poor. The poor let their money control them, rather than them controlling their money. These are bad ways that poor people spend their money. 2. Inability to save and invest. Rich and poor both have jobs or businesses and make money, but the rich have investments and savings to fall back on when they need it. The poor eat what they can get. When the money comes in, huge bills and debts are already waiting to eat it all up. People who are poor think they don't make enough money, so saving or investing feels like a burden. But the rich think that saving and investing are important no matter how much money you make. Even when the poor save, they do so with the idea that they will spend the money later. This is a very bad reason to save. Rich people know how to keep their money and make it grow. The poor don't understand this or haven't put it into practice. Getting rich takes time and doesn't happen all at once. Your savings and investments are what make you rich because they grow over time. If you don't make it a habit to save or invest some of the money you make on a regular basis, you will keep working hard and not have anything to show for it. 3. Inability to identify and maximize opportunities. One of the habits of the poor is that they wait to get lucky. They don't look for ways to use leverage to start making money and building wealth. The poor just sit around and wait for something good to happen. This is the most subtle bad habit, and most people don't even notice it. The world changes every day, and wealthy people take advantage of every chance to make more money. The poor can't turn their skills, hobbies, knowledge, or information into a way to make money. If you can come up with great ideas and put them into action the right way, nothing can stop you from getting rich. The poor usually don't bother to think of ways to make money. Instead, they just sit around and hope and wish. You can make money for yourself by turning your skills, ideas, or other intangible assets into products or services that people want and will pay for. Rich people are always thinking about what problems people have and how they can solve those problems to make money for themselves. This is what a poor person doesn't have, which is why the rich keep getting richer. Poverty is more than just a lack of money, it is also a lack of good ideas. A rich person who doesn't have any ideas may soon be poor. The poor would rather use their bodies than their minds. Even if you don't have money, you probably have skills and interests that you are passionate about, and you should have ideas for how to turn these interests into money-making ventures. 4. They avoid discomfort or risks. One of the characteristics of people who are poor is that they will engage in nearly any behavior in order to escape difficulties. People who have a poor mindset react negatively when they encounter problems. Fear and a lack of self-esteem are the only things that motivate them. People who are wealthy tend to think along the lines of "it will work because I can make it work." Whereas the minds of the destitute are preoccupied with an overwhelming number of possible outcomes. It is important to remember that life is not a bed of roses and that you will not always obtain what you want or that everything will run smoothly. There may be times when you will have to make a critical decision that could be the start of your financial breakthrough, and if you are too hesitant to take on the challenge, you will remain stuck in the situation in which you find yourself. You won't get in life what you want, but you will get what you require of it. This is something a person living in poverty is unaware of. A wealthy guy is one who is clear on his goals and is unafraid to pursue them, even though doing so may mean taking some risks. They are completely dedicated to the process of accumulating riches and expanding it. They are unyielding in their pursuit, and they are willing to do everything that it takes to amass wealth, provided that what they are doing is moral, lawful, and ethical. If you aim for the stars, you are guaranteed to land on the moon at the very least. People who are impoverished don't even try to get on the roof of their house, and then they wonder why they can't get out of poverty. The goal of those who are rich in the game is to win, while those who are poor are to avoid losing. They are always worried about being let down or failing at something. If you stay in one place your whole life, you will never get anywhere. The routine of the poor causes them to concentrate exclusively on challenges and the dangers associated with them. As a result, they are unable to grasp the bull by the horns and figure out what to do if the bull appears to be difficult to handle. 5. They always play the blame game. One of the most common characteristics of people who live in poverty is an inability to assume responsibility for their own financial state or standing. Instead, they point the finger at others, other events, their boss, their spouse, their environment, the lack of options available to them, the government, or anything other than themselves. They offer a wide variety of explanations for their predicament and would rather wallow in self-pity than face the challenge of rising to the occasion and getting to work. The propensity of the impoverished is to say things like, "If I had wealthy parents, if my boss wasn't so mean, if I went to a better school, if I was born in a different country," etc. The wealthy rarely make statements like this. The tendency of self-denial is common among the impoverished because of their perception of themselves as victims of society. They stay in their comfort zone and continue to place blame on other people or situations for their predicament rather than looking for ways to generate possibilities for themselves despite the fact that they are in the scenario that they are in. They refuse to accept responsibility for their actions, which leads to them staying in their comfort zone while they continue to play the blame game, which has the consequence of keeping them there. Sometimes, they even experience resentment toward the wealthy and a sense of being unlucky. As though God predestined some people to have wealth while others were destined to live in poverty. Stop making excuses for your lack of wealth and take action to improve your condition instead of blaming other people for your lack of wealth. Otherwise, you will continue to be in the same impoverished circumstances. If you find that you are guilty of any of these terrible habits, you have a responsibility to be honest with yourself and be willing to make changes wherever they are required. Here are some actionable steps you can take to kick the habits associated with being poor and get started on the path to financial success. Tell us what you think about the video in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button for all the latest updates.